Hey, good day. Mike Mata here, going to show you another video about NetData and actually taking a look at an HTTP process from client to server. If we set our cursor here on this particular connection, we can see a lot of great information. We see that there were two specific connections, sockets, with 62 round trips, meaning, basically the application went to the server 62 times to get information. And we can see our network round trip time, minimum setup time there of 76 milliseconds. That means the application 62 times went to the server. Again, round trip across the network, 76 milliseconds. So if I take 76 times 62, we get about, 4.5, somewhere in there, seconds for this. That's the best it's going to be because you went 62 times with 76 millisecond round trip time. So, the best it's going to be is 4.5 seconds. A lot of other information there, window sizes, transfer rates 53K on client side to server, 316K server side to client, and you can see the TCP used bandwidth about T1 1.4 meg. So again, excellent information that we can glean. Let's go ahead and see what other information we can learn from NetData. If we click on services, let's take a peek here into services and make this bigger so we get all the information out of here. We can see again that similar information that we just learned. There were two connections, sockets, sessions, 62 round trips. There's our bandwidth on the client, 53K. There were a few retransmissions, basically 6 SACs, selective acknowledgments. Again, our network round trip time, 76 milliseconds. And the server's average bandwidth or throughput, 316K bits per second. Okay, let's go to types. Again, very similar information, services and types. If we go to chart transaction, we see, let's make that big. We see there are those 62 requests, and some of them, the little pink box says that those are affected by a network abnormality. So there's one. Again, we said there were 6 SACs. So if we highlight that, you can see there was one of them. Some of the information that we learn right there is server response time, or think server processing time, for that JS mouseover.js JavaScript file. It took the server 87 milliseconds to find the content, and it took the server 77 milliseconds, nope, sorry, that's 7 milliseconds to send that content of 2,772 bytes across the network. And then the client's act time, if you will, or reaction time to that response was 18 milliseconds, or think client processing for that particular application request. Client processing information there, 18 milliseconds. So if we look at the longest running one up here, if we highlight that, we can see that's the get slash. It took 99 milliseconds to find the content, server processing time, and it took 355 milliseconds to return that content, or 35,626K bytes, or 35K. So if we add those two, 99 and 355, we have a total of 454. That would be the application round trip time, or app turn time, for that get slash homepage, default homepage. We can see all of that information as well in the stats tab. If we click on the stats tab and make that bigger, let's make that so we can see all of the stats here. And let's sort by this each one. We'll sort by the ID. And we'll go to the top. Starts with number 2, and the reason for that is number 1 is technically the TCP three-way handshake. Then we see this get slash. There's our get slash for the default home page. We just looked at that. It tells us 99 milliseconds server processing time. And remember, 99 plus 355, that was our 454 total application round trip time. So that's what that and max there is that's our application round trip time. Again, if someone's complaining the network is slow and this is our trace, we can easily then sort on nmax, and we can then see, well, here's our longest running application processes or application threads. The first or the longest running one was getting the default home page. That took almost half a second, 454 milliseconds. The next one, a quarter of a second, 239 milliseconds. And again, you can walk right down the list and see this is where the time was spent on each one of these 62 requests. So there's just a real quick and dirty way to use NetData to analyze an application and see, am I going to spend any more time looking at the network, 76 millisecond round trip, or is the time spent on the application finding the content, our server processing, and again, we can sort on that as well and see what's, the maximum server processing, 110 milliseconds, or was the time spent, total application round trip time. Hope that was helpful. Again, thanks for listening. Make it a great day.